Tesseract by John Triptych. Matthias turned his nose up when he saw what the other two boys had taken out from underneath the bed. A box? That's what you wanted to show me? Asham smiled as he held up the object from the bottom with both hands, as if displaying something delicate. Not just any box. It's a special kind. A magic box, Oliver added. He was the shortest of the three, and the pudgiest. Matthias felt like getting up and leaving the room. The other two had been cajoling him, even pleading to come visit Asham's house after school. They wanted to show him something important, they said. After being pestered for several days, Matthias finally agreed, but only if they gave him 20 euros. It took Asham and Oliver another week to come up with the money, and it was just in time too, for Matthias needed some cash to buy more ecstasy pills. He figured an hour spent with these losers was worth it, and so he finally accompanied them on this very afternoon. Asham could clearly sense the taller boy wavering as he shuffled a little closer while still on his knees. This is very special, you know. Feel it and see. Matthias knocked the box out of the other boy's hands with a backhanded slap. The cube seemed lighter than expected as it bounced along the side of a nearby study desk before resting on the floor. Asham's face turned sorrowful as he crawled over and carefully retrieved the box. Please don't do that. You'll break the magic inside of it. Matthias was quickly losing patience with them. He grabbed Oliver by his shirt collar, bringing the other boy's face closer to his own. You told me you'd pay me to come here. Give me the money. Right now. Oliver nodded meekly as he dug into his pockets and drew out some coins before handing them over. Matthias had been taking his money for years since the second grade, and the smaller boy never put up a fight. Grabbing the coins, Matthias counted them before shoving the euros into his pocket. Where's the rest? Asham once again held the box up along its sides. You promised us you'd take a look first. We'll give you the rest afterwards, okay? Matthias sat down on the gaming chair by the desk. He could take on these two with hardly any effort if they reneged on the deal. Being the toughest in school, no one dared to mess with him. Let's just get this over with, he said. What do you want me to do? Asham made a hopeful smile as he got closer once more. I want you to feel the outside of the box. Just place your hand on top of it. This better not be a trick, Matthias said. I'll smash both your faces in. You know I will. Oliver shook his head. No tricks. We'd never do that to you. We know how tough you are. Reaching out, Matthias placed his hand on top of the box. I can feel bumps on its surface even though it looks smooth. Why is it warm like that? We don't really know, Asham said. You got some kind of pet hamster in there? No, Asham said. Would you believe me if I told you it's empty? Matthias didn't believe a word of it. You've got some kind of battery in there, right? Or maybe a mobile phone? Asham shook his head. Like I told you, it's empty. It's just air inside, but it's magical air, Oliver said. Matthias continued to rub his fingers along the box's top. The strange material was proving to be solid, but had a soft, pliable surface, like his baby brother's skin. Where'd you get this from? My parents found it in the attic of my grandfather's house after he died, Asham said. They were going to throw it away, but I kept it. I didn't tell them, of course, so it'll be our secret. Asham's grandfather was a scientist, Oliver said. He went on an expedition to Antarctica and found something. There was even a story of it printed in the newspapers before the war, and many of its members went missing. His grandfather was the only one to come back alive. Matthias thought about punching Oliver when the box suddenly began to vibrate, causing him to pull his hand back. Much to his surprise, the top of the box seemingly disappeared, revealing a darkened hollow within. See? It's empty inside, Asham said. A curious Matthias dragged the chair closer and gazed down at its open top. Although the inside appeared empty, the blackness within seemed to completely absorb the incoming sunlight from the bedroom window, and he could see some kind of rippling effect, like the ebbing and flowing currents of a black ocean. "Like I told you, it's a magic box," Oliver said. Matthias remained wary. "This has got to be some kind of trick." Asham grinned from ear to ear, the freckles along his cheeks looking like cinnamon sprinkles in the late afternoon glare. "If you want the rest of the money, all you have to do is put your hand inside and feel it." Matthias glared at him. "If you mess up my hand or my clothes, I'm going to beat you both up so bad you're both going to end up in the hospital." "Like I told you, we know how tough you are," Asham said. "Just put your hand in, and keep it in there for a minute." "What's the matter? You're not scared, are you?" The taunting words had an immediate effect. Matthias never backed down from any dare, and he had a reputation to uphold. "Just remember what will happen if you trick me," he reiterated, right before he slowly placed his right hand into the hollow. At first, he didn't feel anything. Seconds passed, and he soon felt a gradual tingling, as if his palm was being caressed by a feather. Wriggling his fingers made the sensation even more pronounced. "This is so stupid," Matthias said as the other two chuckled. More seconds passed, and the tickling sensation morphed into a kind of numbness. Sensing a bit of danger, he tried pulling his hand back, only to realize that he couldn't. The other two boys quickly backed away towards the bed, their faces plastered with cunning grins. Matthias found himself unable to draw his hand out. His fingers stopped wriggling, and it felt like his hand was stuck in a vat of dried cement. Gripping the lower sides of the box, he used his other hand as a counterforce, but he still couldn't pull his right hand out. Glaring at the other two boys who were now sitting by the bed, he tried to get closer and make a grab at them, only to realize that the box was holding him in place. But how could this be? Even after he'd let go with his other hand, the box just seemed to float in the air as if suspended aloft on top of some invisible table. Matthias started cursing at them, as he placed his right foot along the side of the box and tried kicking at it, but was still unable to move the cube. "What in the hell is this? I'm going to kill you both." The box remained fixed in the air, unmoving and unmovable. Matthias just couldn't pry his hand away from the opening, no matter how hard he tried. With each passing moment, the numbness turned into discomfort, and then pain. He started screaming. It felt like some sinister, unstoppable force was pulling hard at his fingertips, stretching them out. The pulsing currents of pain shooting up from his extended tendons proved excruciating, and he started to cry. Tears ran down his eyes when he found his forearm being pulled deeper into the hollow. The container was somehow swallowing him up, dragging the entire arm into the box's small space. The pain was so bad, it felt like his shoulder would separate at any moment. "Stop this," Matthias begged, but the other two boys just giggled as they continued to watch with cruel, impassioned stares. His shoulder was now being forced into the opening, the sides of the box ripping into his sport jacket, drawing blood, the crimson droplets hanging in the air before they too were drawn in. "Help me," he cried. "Please, someone help me." The muscles in his arms were screaming, the unbearable agony paralyzing the rest of his once struggling body. All Matthias could do next was utter a short moan before his head tilted sideways, as it was being forced into the box's small opening. His entire body had become rubberized, stretched into extreme pliability, before the sudden oblivion finally overwhelmed him. When it was finally over, the box promptly resealed itself and fell back into the ground, rolling along the carpet before stopping by the foot of the bed. Asham was positively beaming, as they both knelt down beside the object. "It worked? Who should we do next?" Oliver nodded slowly, his soft brown eyes gleaming with dark desires. "How about Francesca? She was always mean to me." "All right," Asham said. "I hate her too." He gently picked up the box, being careful not to touch its top. Both boys soon left the house to go and look for her. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this audiobook, please like and subscribe for updates. Copyright 2025 John Triptych Publishing. All rights reserved. This is a work of fiction. All names, characters, places, and events either are the product of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, events and/or locales is entirely coincidental.